You build it beautiful in your time. Build it, you build it beautiful in me. Hello, happy Wednesday. It is a Be Well Wednesday, and today I want to talk about blind spots. So we're going to jump right in because you have a blind spot and everybody else can see it except for you. So let's talk about what that means. Let's talk about how to overcome it because each and every one of us, I think, in here in this group, we are on a wellness journey, right? We want to live in the land of wellness. Whatever that means for you. I'm always talking about how we build our beautiful. And so part of building our beautiful is being able to identify what it is that is standing in the way of us reaching that place. Okay. So when you pop on here, whether you're catching it, you actually catch me live, or whether you jump in on the replay, say hi, let us know how you're doing. Let us know how your weekend went. I wasn't live on Monday or Tuesday. I was out off the grid. I've been trying to do that a little bit more. So you're seeing that a little bit more. And especially as we end up with more events and more time together, I'm taking those in between days and just kind of disconnecting a little bit as we approach my favorite season, fall. So hopefully that does it. So let's talk about your blind spots and how do I to be able to identify what they are. Okay. As a coach, I help clients on a regular basis be able to identify this is my blind spot. This is where I'm falling short. This is an area that I want to change or I would like to change. And how do you identify it? And how are you able to then overcome it? Okay. We work a lot with blockers and accelerators. You being able to identify the things that are getting in your way, and then the accelerators, the things that are going to help you to overcome or get beyond them. Make sense? Okay. So here are 6 things that I would like to help you identify your blind spot. Okay. Number 1, do you have a pattern of spending money that you don't have on things you don't really need? Okay. Now you can separate those two and you can say, I spend money on I spend money I don't have, but I need those things, or I spend money on things that I don't need. Okay. But they're both around spending money. And if you've heard my story, you know that I was very guilty of this before I found the Green Gap. Green Gap, if you don't know what that is, that's just a program that we do in ULA that anyone can take. And I actually offer personalized coaching through it. It's a digital program that you take and it helps you to get debt free. And then I can coach you through it. So that's a side note. But before I applied Green Gap into my own life, I had this secret debt. This was the credit card that I allowed to get higher and higher and higher. I was proud of myself because I wasn't paying interest on it because I just kept transferring it back and forth, these 2 cards. But the end of it is I had this secret debt. And it was because I would walk into a store that had clothing and I would walk out of that store having purchased an article of clothing that I thought somehow was going to make me comfortable in my body. That somehow if I wore this piece of clothing, I would feel better about all this extra weight that I was carrying around. Okay. And so even though I didn't have the money to buy that article of clothing at that time, and even though I didn't need any more clothes, I had a closet full already, I was buying, charge it, charge it, charge it, charge it. Right. When in reality, that was not going to bring me any joy. That was not going to help me build my beautiful. It was going to help me build ugly debt. Okay. When really I want a beautiful bank account. Okay. And I think each and every one of you do as well. Okay. So if you are someone who can relate to the secret debt, you don't need to give us any numbers. You can just be like, I get it. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a yes, that's me. I've done that. Right. So I'm just using that as an example. Okay. I had a blind spot about that, and then even when I finally realized that I was doing that, I didn't know how to stop doing it because I had a blocker there. That was my blind spot. I couldn't really identify how to stop. Right. And so I needed some help to do that. And that's why I got Green Gap in the first place. So number 2, you are habitually late. That may mean that you have a blind spot in this area, but let's first look at what you are habitually late for. Are you habitually late for lunch with friends? And if you are, what does that say to your friend? It says either you didn't really want to have lunch with them and you kind of had to force yourself to, or they're not that important to you that that your time was more valuable than their time. I mean, that's terrible to think because you probably don't feel that way. You think that their time is just as valuable as your time, and yet you are habitually late. Maybe, I was talking about this with somebody earlier, and we talked about the doctor's appointments, always being late for a doctor's appointment. Well, maybe your doctor is always late bringing you in. So you're on time for your appointment, and then you sit in the waiting room for half an hour. So you might as well just be 15 minutes late, right? So it's like, we've justified it, but why? Why be late for that? Is it revengeful to the doctor, or is it because you don't really want to be there in the first place? Who wants to be in the doctor? Is it because you don't trust your doctor? So whatever they tell you anyway, you're not even going to believe or trust. Is it because you think they're going to put you on a medication that you don't want or don't need, or maybe you do need it, but you don't want to take it, whatever it is, right? So it's being able to identify you're habitually late. Why? Okay. Number 3, you start things, but then you don't finish. This is a big issue. Personally, I'm just calling out the elephant. I have so many ideas. There's so much creativity running around in here. And I say, oh, I'm going to do this. And then I just don't finish it. I don't follow through. I'm not consistent, right? Why? Why is that? So this is me identifying my own blind spots and then having to dig a little deeper and find out why. So that is an indicator that you have a blind spot if you continually start something and then don't finish it. Okay. Number 4, you constantly say yes when you really truly want to say no. When somebody asks you for something or asks you to get involved in something or asks you to whatever it is, and you say yes, cringing inside because truly you just want to say no, right? That is an indicator that you have a blind spot. Okay. Number 5, that you resist change. Even when you know you need that change, right? We all have areas in our life that we know we need to change. So when we know that we need to change something and we don't, blind spot, you resist it. Okay. And number 6, your first response to a new thing, a new environment, a new job, a new family member, I don't know what it is, but a new environment, a new place, a new whatever, is fear and anger. If that is your go-to first gut reaction to new change in environment, those sort of things, then you probably have a blind spot there. Okay. So those are 6 ways to be able to identify that you have a blind spot. When your attitude or your emotions are out of sync with your value system. So I need you to think about that. So today's challenge for you is to really think about, do you value being on time or having other people be on time, valuing your time? Do you value change? Do you embrace it because you are excited for what it's going to bring into your life? Being able to, what is your attitude about spending money that you don't have? How do what's your actual attitude about it? Not your action, but your attitude, your thought process, right? So being able to identify is what those blind spots are, right? And they're your blind spots because your actions do not mesh with your value system. It's like the person that goes to church on Sunday and then does not behave like a churchgoer on Monday. It's that same sort of do you value your faith if you are acting one way during the week, lying, backstabbing, cheating, whatever the case may be, and then on Sunday you're in the church pew praising and worshiping and trying to live the 10 commandments in that hour, right? And I don't say this with any sort of I'm not trying to put judgment on you. I just think our wellness comes, we are our most beautiful when we are able to identify the things that are getting in the way, the things that are getting us off track. Okay. So that is the purpose for this topic today. Tomorrow is the next installment of Beach Babes. So those of you who are local, I hope that you are planning to come to the beach tomorrow. It should not be raining, so we will be on the beach, but dress accordingly. It's Western New York, so the beach and the sunset are still going to be beautiful. 6 o'clock, Woodlawn Beach. Register. Let me know you're coming because there's actually going to be some thank you gifts for those that attend. And then stay tuned. You're going to start hearing us talking in the near future about what happens after the Beach Babe series, because we have 2 more Beach Babes. And then after that, you're going to have an opportunity to join the Real Women's Body Challenge. So I'm very excited about that. That is going to be next, and that's coming in October. So stay tuned for that. All right. That's 10 minutes. I love you guys. I can't wait to see you again soon. We're going to go out there and build our beautiful together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.